Hello and welcome to day 3 of Leagues. Today I am going to go over some news, updates, all the jazz that you might want, and then I'll go into how my account has progressed. So let's get into it. Okay, time to go over some tips and any other news related to Leagues. So I just want to start off by saying that yes, there are bugs happening in Leagues. Yes, it sucks when it happens. Sometimes it's nice, sometimes there's bugs that benefit us, but overall, just know that it does seem like the Jagex mods are trying to prioritize fixing them. Production Master, for example, is now fixed, woot, after it was very much broken for release. But it's not working as intended. So on the news side of things, though, I did want to cover something pretty important that came up today, which is Jagex is investigating how best to add more quests to be quote-unquote auto-completed. The TLDR of this post is it seems that they're looking to maybe adding the ability to get the rewards of the quest without actually doing the quest. I think this is good. This will still allow questers to do the quest for tasks and XP rewards and such, which is good balance, but also doesn't lock people out from maybe doing the tasks that are maybe behind the quest. Example is TDs. There's a lot of tasks around like Dragon Limbs or TD specifically, but maybe someone doesn't want to go and do while Gethic sleeps. So that's what they're looking into. I think the angle that they're doing at it is good and healthy. So it doesn't really punish people that did do the quest for XP, and it doesn't overflow the game with quest points, which has a bunch of tasks associated to X number of quest points. So on the bug side of thing, I did want to call out two things. One is good, one is bad. So at tier 5, I was able to get the soul split task without having 92 prayer by switching spellbooks at the stage in Lumbridge and activating it. Currently this still works. I just had another friend do it and it still works. For a bug that doesn't help us, just know that there are quite a few cases of people completing tasks and just straight up not getting points for it. So just to make sure to send in a bug report when that happens. And also another example of something that just doesn't work the way it should is impling tasks do not work in Puro, so do not go to the one place that has implings to farm out those tasks. So don't do those there. Alright, now for the account updates. I did want to not leave it on a cliffhanger. I did go ahead and do everything required to get 80 crafting. So what I ended up doing was doing Gate of Elidinus method of crafting. So this required the mini quest soul searching. Actually, I think it's just a straight up quest. Soul searching to unlock Gate of Elidinus, and then I did Gate of Elidinus all the way up to 80. This took a little over an hour, and it was super AFK. It's one of those things I could do while editing, so I got 80 crafting, which means I had everything available to me for invention. Now for other updates, man, I'm gonna say again, do your rune span. I do it every single day and I'm at over 70 plus rune crafting. You're gonna see my first clip, I get 70 RC, and then the second rune span I got 73. This is also your reminder to make sure you do all of your statues and don't leave things like Yanil, Prif, etc. out, because they do add up in XP. And as you do, I am doing div through cash and almost cash alone. It's busted. Also, holy shit, I did Tears of Gothics as well, and it gave me 20 levels in archaeology. 20 levels! And then because we're doing those combat wilderness flash events, I'm starting to gain a lot of Necro XP because that's where all my lamps are going. So I'm up to 50 Necro just from flash events essentially. And that is 1900 total level. And while training some combat skills, I did also get 99 agility. So yeah, I love these boots. So, if you are a melee user like I am, don't forget to just use melee to like heal yourself. So like you'll see here where I am using melee and range at the same time. So what I'll do is I'll AFK with chins, and then when I get low, I just go and switch to my melee setup, heal to full into abilities, and then go back to chin chompas. And then I've been slowly working on archaeology, and you're going to see me doing more archaeology in the future, but yeah, last time while I was editing, I got up to 60 archaeology. And with that Wilderness Flash event, I am now at 2,000 total. And after dipping the prayer event, that is 70 prayer, which means I now have piety. I won't be using piety much because Zealot Amulet plus like the Strength's prayer is always going to be better. And then while doing some thieving guild quest, I got 50 thieving, which was my lowest skill, which means now I have 50 plus skills in all non-elites. So that quest I was doing gives so many rewards. So just look at my inventory. Not only does this quest just give you a load of thieving experience, it also just gives you some really useful rewards. If you're like me, like teak logs are very useful for tasks. Maple logs are super useful for tasks. Even a lobster is useful for tasks. So very good quest. And I just love how, like, on an Iron Man, every small thing kind of feels really good, and leagues kind of even boost that element. So, like, I just got magic logs from a wilderness event, and I was so excited to see that reward, but in main game, I would have been like, meh. So I ended up getting a clue scroll that required a step to be done in Mortania, so I ended up finally walking into Mortania. So I did Priest Imperial, Ghost Ahoy, Haunted Mine quest, all of those good quests, just to do this one elite clue scroll. With Mortania did come Barrows, so I did end up doing a Barrows kill, mainly for the teleport. I didn't get anything. So something I don't know quite how to show is just how many tasks I was doing. So I'm just going to show you random tasks that I did capture, some of the more niche ones, if you will. I did everything from finally doing some impling catching to these random things all the way out on the west side of the map, to finally, post 99 agility, doing a full Anachronia lap. Tier 6 is a very easy choice, as a Banker's Note, in my opinion, only has one good use case, and it is rune crafting. Outside of that, Perfection is just a cheat code for so many things. I did end up doing a just rush of level 1 to 120 in a single setting, and it took me 1 hour and 8 minutes to do this. The TLDR of how to train Invention once you have Perfection is essentially you want to do discoveries a little bit early on, and then you're going to do gizmos with the best material at the time you can use. So early on it's like undead components, and then when you get to 70 plus it becomes not quite 30 age, but here's a photo. Photo will have just essentially go with the highest XP for the level that you have. And then 115 plus, you're gonna do equipment separators, but you really don't have to do any. You have to just do so many discoveries, and you'll start getting like 3 million XP per discovery, and it just becomes absolutely insane. The second part of Perfection is the GP side of it. The fact that you can get 66% of your items saved when you alch or disassemble them, and you alch and disassemble at the same time. So what I did was I went and bought marble blocks from the wilderness one because the return on them is like 97%, which is insane. So just for that starting amount of gold, I went with marble blocks. And then once I had a pretty fat cache, I think it was like 10 mil or higher, I went to the normal construction store and started doing the same thing, but to magic stones, which have just a higher alch value. So they're not as likely to return as much percentage-wise, but pure money-wise, they're like triple the amount. So we want the highest item that has... We want the highest alchemy valued item to be alchemized. So that's what we were looking for, and in RS3 it is the magic stone. And then after, you know, all of that dopamine for the hour where I'm averaging like 200 million plus XP an hour, I went back to doing questing. So I did finish Beneath the Cursed Tides. This is just a really, really good quest for XP. Specifically fishing, when fishing is kind of a pain for everyone. It's one of the slower skills, so I did finish that off. So by end of the day, I ended up being rank 81 with 14,230 points. This is a pretty significant increase over day 2, where my last ranking was 110 with 9,150 points. So let's see how tomorrow goes.